Hey, Amy,
Yes, Juan.
give me that beat.
It's Baseball Shangri-La with Amy Cuevas and Juan Ramirez.
What's up, party people? She is Amy Cuevas, and I am Juan Ramirez. You are listening or watching Baseball Shangri-La. Let's get the business out of the way. If you are watching or listening to us on the podcast, please make sure you're subscribed to the podcast. Write us, rate us, leave us a review, help spread the word. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. Hit that notification button. Give us a thumbs up. Leave us comments. We want to hear from you. Make sure you're following us on social media, on X at BB Shangri-La, on Instagram, Threads, Twitch, and at Baseball Shangri-La. She is Amy Cuevas. I am Juan Ramirez, and a pleasant good evening to you wherever you may be. Amy, ¿cómo estás? Long time no see.
Oh my God, it's been so long.
It's been so long. And what I love is the purple blends in so beautifully into the backdrop that sometimes I feel it's just a floating head over there.
Well, that's me. I'm just camouflaged in.
So let's get into. We got a lot of baseball talking. Unfortunately for me, it has to start off with injuries, and then there's a lot of moves. The Dodgers made a lot of moves as they start their series with the Nacionales of Washington. But first, let's start off with the injury over the weekend that was reported where Bobby Miller was put on the IL with correct me if I'm wrong here, Amy. The term was shoulder inflammation.
You are correct. They're saying basically 5 to 7 days before he even starts playing catch. They want to see how he's feeling, see how he's responding before they do anything else there. I was there on Sunday when Doc was talking about it. There were a couple questions surrounding that. So he did mention they were going to drop somebody into his spot. Somebody from the media tried to clarify. I think it might have been Bill Plunkett. Is dropping somebody into the spot going to be a bullpen game? And he was saying, no, they're going to drop somebody into his spot and also be playing bullpen games so that they can continue to give Yoshinobu Yamamoto the rest that he needs, essentially.
And one thing I want to be clear about this Bobby Miller situation. I know that Bobby Miller sent David Vassegh a direct message saying that it's fine. This is more of a precaution, but he did deal with this shoulder inflammation last year, and he was able to play through it. So the hope is that that Bobby Miller just needs some rest, and this will be fine. That this is not going to linger for the rest of the season. Now, when the Dodgers say shoulder inflammation, I will say this. Probably at one point it was shoulder inflammation, and that's as much as I will believe from the Dodgers. Because I don't believe the Dodgers are very forthcoming when it comes to injury reports, and I will submit what's going on with Emmett Sheehan as Exhibit A. When Emmett Sheehan first was put on the IL, it was just basically overall body soreness. Then it evolved to something with his shoulder. And now we're hearing reports that it's Emmett Sheehan's forearm that's bothering him. And of course, you never want to hear forearm because then you start associating that with the elbow. And then, of course, you're just going to go down. You're just going to go down a black hole.
Whoa. Let me pull you back in. Come back.
Exactly. So eventually what's going to happen is I believe, I don't know if Dave Roberts talked about this when you were there, Amy, but that Emmett Sheehan will be put on a throwing program.
Actually, he's not on a throwing program at this time. One of the media, I think it was Maria Sorreo, actually asked about that. So he's on no catch play right now. He's non-activity, no throwing, and that's because he's not responding right now. So he's a ways away from coming back. They were saying that it's a long-term situation for him. He did have a scan. Doc wasn't aware of what the results were, but essentially he's not going to be coming back anytime soon. And so that plus the Bobby Miller thing got brought up because I'm sure we'll get into Walker Buehler in a minute, but essentially the question was, will we bring Walker Buehler back a little bit faster because of the Bobby Miller situation? And Dave Roberts wanted to be clear, we are not speeding up Walker Buehler's recovery and his rehab to just replace somebody else. We will just drop somebody else into Bobby Miller's spot.
And again, I want to present this as Exhibit B as to how things can accelerate in a baseball season so quickly. We went in the beginning of spring training by saying, well, Emmett Sheehan's going to be the Dodgers' fifth starter. That when Walker Buehler wasn't responding, well, Emmett Sheehan's going to be in the starting rotation for sure. And now Emmett Sheehan, okay, well, Emmett Sheehan's not going to pitch in spring training. Oh, it's okay. Emmett Sheehan, he'll be ready later on in the season. To now, Emmett Sheehan has shoulder inflammation. Oh, okay. To now, there's some forearm issues. What? To now, he's not throwing. He can't play catch. He can't do anything. I think
Which
what
is what they're going to find out along the way, though, as they're like ramping him up. They're probably going to figure these things out. It's not like he had an injury and it was like, okay, we have a schematic for what the next 4 to 6 weeks are going to look like. He has been pitching on and off since this started to see if they could stretch him out. And I'm sure some of these other things have developed and they've been able to see, okay, so what we thought started as this is actually this is actually this. So it's not like day one out the gate, they know what the actual issue is.
right, which is again to my point in this is just that nothing is a given. That
Oh,
when we sit
you
there,
thought it was?
well, look, when everybody look, I'm the guy who took the under on 100 games. Remember, everybody has the Dodgers winning over 100 games. I'm the one that's saying under 100, and the reason why was I'm concerned about health. And this is Emmett Sheehan is what I am. This is the example that I'm showing because I thought Emmett Sheehan was going to play an important part in the Dodgers pitching rotation. As of right now, with what we know, I don't see that happening because the Dodgers are very conservative. This is a very young arm. You don't want to put him in a position. Look at what's happening with Dustin May. You don't want to put him in a position where, hey, I'd rather lose him for a year than lose him for 2 years, right? And so I think what's happening here, and we're going to get into all of this with the bullpen games because I don't know where you stand on bullpen games. I don't like them. I do. Is it concerning that we're still not even out of April yet, and the Dodgers are already it's going to be their second bullpen or third bullpen game of the season? And everybody goes, "Oh, the bullpen sucks." Well, this is part of the problem, I think, when you're not getting length, and I get it. It's the beginning of the year. You don't want to stretch out your starters. But Amy, it's not concerning to you that we already have this many bullpen games, and then Wednesday's game or the businessman special on Wednesday afternoon against the Nacionales. I know Landon Knack is supposed to will he start that game? But that's going to be another bullpen game because I don't think they're going to let Landon Knack go long.
No, Landon Knack is probably not going to get that many pitches. Kyle Hurt's only going to get 40 to 45 tonight before Yarbrough takes over. But okay, so I just feel like in this game, like we're never going to make everybody happy because you guys all want Yamamoto. Great. Well, part of his transition over here is he needs a certain amount of days of rest. With that, you've got to stretch it out. Did the Dodgers do great in the offseason of acquiring starting pitchers? Yeah, but we don't have a ton of them to be able to stretch that out. So you're going to have to fill it with something. Unfortunately, that is going to have to be bullpen games. So unless you can magically manifest some starters, I don't know what you want them to do. What starters do you want them to plug in the hole so that we don't break Yamamoto right in the beginning?
I guess my thing is this, and you can't. I would love for starters to go at least 6 innings. I don't think it's asking a lot to have a starter go more than 6 innings.
And
To
then
go
when they have
at
a bad
least 6
game,
innings.
everybody's screaming, pull him out, pull him out. He's having a bad game. So it's like, okay, what do you guys want?
The Dodgers have a vaunted offense, do they not?
Vaunted, and give me an example.
Well, I mean, look, they scored 7 runs against the Show Pilots. There was a stretch there where they were scoring at least 5 runs.
Mhm.
my thing is this: if everything is, you're looking at the long run. I've had this argument, not this argument, but a conversation with a fellow Dodger fan who said to me, Juan, don't the games in April count just as much as the games at the end of the season? And I'm
100%.
like, I was like, yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. And again, at the time that we are recording this, we are talking about a team that is still in first place. And I mean, at this point, I
Who
believe
also just happened to score first in the game from against the Nationals right now. So
the
it's
Oscar Hernandez
1-0.
coming through. The Oscar
Mhm.
Hernandez coming through. I believe they have a 1 game lead on the show pods. So look, they're in first place, and it is April. Um, my thing is this, and that is, unless you're going to really just go under the philosophy of the team that we see right now, this is not this team that we're going to see at the end of the season. So if we're going to burn out some bullpen arms that aren't going to be on the team at the end of the season, then that's fine. Let's go ahead and burn them out. But this all adds up, because let's say Yamamoto could have gotten you 6 innings in that Friday game against the Show Pots. You come in with Daniel Hudson in the 7th. Maybe you don't go to Brazier. Maybe you go to Joe Kelly, who so far has been pitching really well this season. He had 1 bad outing, which was his first outing of the season, and that's the reason why his ERA. But Amy and I, look, we've had this conversation before. The more pitchers you use in a game, the more chances something could go wrong. That's all I'm saying. And I do subscribe to the Ozzie Guillen theory of, you're giving me 6 innings no matter what. So if you're getting clobbered, you got to take one for the team that day, because, yeah, I don't want to, I'm sure fans don't want to hear this. I'm punting this game because I got to save the bullpen. I am not a,
Or our offense has to bolster in those respects. Like that's where we have to work as a cohesive unit. Sometimes that is gonna click. Cylinders will be firing. It'll be firing on all cylinders. Sometimes that's not gonna work. I mean,
no. And so if Glass now was sick, that Monday night game against the Nacionales, and he couldn't give you more than 5 innings, like I get that. I'm no longer. There was a period, yes, and I know it was in the olden days, but there was a period where pitchers would pitch into the 7th. I don't even want that. Just give me 6. I will take 6, because I know it may not seem like a big difference that you're only covering 1 inning, but I think in the long run it adds up, because
you don't want to
yeah,
tax your bullpen. We don't need another Brandon Morrow situation that we had
yeah,
towards the end of the season where we broke him.
yeah.
But be that as it may, like unfortunately, that's what we're seeing is we're getting everybody kind of ramped up still, because everybody's kind of on different levels. You see Stone go a little longer one day. You see Glasnow go into 7 innings at one point, and then he only threw, what was it, 5, I think,
Yeah, he threw 5. But
yesterday.
the reports are he had chorro. So look, my hat's off to that guy. If he pitched 5 innings having chorro, I don't know how the hell he did that, but my hat's off to him for doing that. Did you say you had a Walker Bueller update?
Yes. So he was, let's see. Oh no, I had a Trinan and a Walker Bueller kind of. So Trinan pitched a live session on Sunday. They're gonna have him pitch again on Thursday. If he does well, he'll pitch again this Saturday, and then he's gonna go out on a rehab assignment. And then Walker Bueller, he is pitching this Thursday in Oklahoma City. They're keeping an eye on his health and progression. Again, not reacting to the Bobby Miller thing. He's just going to progress the way he is. And he has an 80 to 85 pitch goal on Thursday.
All right. So we'll hopefully probably still on track to maybe seeing Walker Bueller at the end of April, maybe early May.
But you're still not going to get 6 innings out of him. So prepare yourself.
Yeah. So yeah, and I know that there are, like I mentioned, Yamamoto, and I know some fans are frustrated with that. And it was, look, that was the deal when you signed him. You knew, and I know the Dodgers don't want to admit to this idea of him only pitching once a week. I know a lot of the beat writers are bringing this up and being like, so again, Yamamoto's only going to pitch once a week, and the Dodgers are non-committal or give half-ass answers on that. Look, it's clear he's only going to pitch once a week. So if he's only going to pitch once a week, and Dave Roberts told you, Amy, it's like, yeah, we're going to get another starter in there and we're going to do bullpen games. That is, like you said, to keep Yamamoto to one start a week.
I don't know that it's necessarily half-ass answers. I mean, I think it's progressing just like what we're watching. We're seeing, them making reactions in real time too. Maybe they were hoping Yamamoto would have been able to go a little bit farther in his starts, and that's not the case right now. But again, rather than burn him out, they're adjusting as they go. Maybe we can get him to a 5-day rotation versus a 6-day. Who knows? I'm sure this is all in flight. It's also, he's, again, all the adjustments we've already talked about before, new country, new everything. So at the same time, there's a lot of change going on for everybody. This is going to be an ever-changing season. Nothing's going to be static. This isn't the roster we're going to probably see all the way through. Injuries happen, changes are made. We're seeing Rojas playing third base tonight. They're giving Muncy a night off. So we're just, things are going to change. It's going to be fluid. So I guess the sooner we get used to that, the less stress we're going to feel.
Not only is the situation super fluid, but on Tuesday, the Dodgers did something that I'm very surprised of, and that is they called up Andy Bacchus. Amy, I know the Dodgers did a litany of transactions, not only calling up Andy Bacchus. Do you have all the moves that the Dodgers did?
Yeah, they recalled Andy Pajes and Kyle Hurt, who is pitching currently. They selected the contract of pitcher Eduardo Salazar. They optioned Ricky Vanasco and Nick Ramirez, and then they DFA'd Taylor Trammell to make room on the 40-man roster.
I hope this is not the last that we see Ricky Vanasco, because he pitched really well on Monday, and I feel like he deserves another opportunity. I know it's a numbers game because the Dodgers are going to need a lot of fresh arms in these next 2 days because of the situation that they're in. But I thought Vanasco pitched well in spring training too. So I hopefully he gets another shot back up here pitching in the bullpen. But
Speaking
in regard
of Andy Pajes, he just singled on a line drive in his first at bat. Good job.
So that's his first major league hit then, right?
Mm-hmm. He singled.
Hey, the Cuban sensation, Andy Bacchus. Congratulations.
Yeah. He's wearing number 84 right now, and the team just saluted him from the dugout. So well done, Andy Pajes.
The beauty of recording an episode while a game is going on. So that's awesome. We get to have Andy Bacchus' first. So let's talk about it. Since right on cue, he gets his first Major League Baseball hit. Amy, what are your thoughts on the Dodgers calling up Andy Bacchus?
I'm glad he's getting a shot. I mean, everybody's been screaming for it on social media, so should make everyone happy. It sounds like he's going to be playing. Doc said he would be playing against lefties and righties, so he'll most likely be out there in right field because Jason Hayward had a little bit of a setback. He's still got that discomfort, so they're saying at this point, once he is feeling better, he's going to have to go out on a rehab assignment before he returns.
I was on record as saying that I thought we would see Miguel Vargas up here before we saw Andy Bacchus. I think we lose sight of the fact that Andy Bacchus, is coming off of a shoulder injury. So I thought, well, why are they bringing him up if he's only going to play when they face lefties? But from what you're saying, it sounds like he is going to get significant playing time. So we're going to be able to, hey, Andy Bacchus is getting thrown in the deep end right now, and we're going to see. Now, let me ask you this, Amy, and I know you're going to sit there and go, there goes Juan going full. It's always sunny in Philadelphia. The fact that they pull up Andy Bacchus, does that tell you that maybe the Dodgers are seeing something in Chris Taylor that they don't like? They know something about Chris Taylor that we don't know, that they're not expecting this to turn around? Because if they are going to give Andy Bacchus playing time, a lot of playing time, I'm surprised by that because you already had Chris Taylor. Like, why isn't that playing time going to Chris Taylor? Like,
but he's in the game tonight. He's playing left field. They're both in the game.
Where's the Oscar playing?
Let's see.
Oh, is Andy Bacchus is playing center field?
Yeah, he's center field tonight. Teoscar's in right, and Chris
And
Taylor's in left.
so Kike's not in the lineup.
No, not tonight. No, Rojas is playing third. We've already discovered Barnes is catching, despite some of the roster switch ups that were out there. No, Kike's at second base and Mookie's at short.
So
So
you
again,
feel
it's an ever changing roster. Fluid.
so I know that Chris Taylor catches a lot of strays, but I'm going to put this out here, guys. I do feel bad for him in this sense. He is struggling and it's really tough to watch. Okay. But I also feel like he he gets limited at bats. And when you're in a funk, I feel like you need a lot of at bats to finally break out of it. And he's not going to get those at bats. And if they're committing to Andy Pacas, whether they're going to move Andy Pacas around to center field, it seems like they are putting somebody on notice in this, whether it's Chris Taylor or it's the poor fellow Stalloner Club, James Outman, which I
Or
don't know
maybe
why.
they're just moving people around and trying it out.
I'm just very surprised because it's April. It's April. The last time the Dodgers brought up a prospect, a high prospect like this early in the season was when they did it with Puig. And that was out of necessity again, out of injuries. I don't know because they also ended up DFAing poor Tyler Trammell, who got into the game finally on Monday. And I was wondering, I was like, I know Tyler Trammell's on this team. Why is he not getting, why did you pick him up if you're not going to let him, show what he's got? But I am just very surprised, and I don't know what that says to poor Miguel Vargas, too, that they went with Pajes. And I get it that Pajes is tearing it up in AAA.
But he's more prone to play in the outfield and he's more suited for it versus Vargas, who they were just kind of testing out as a theory of maybe he could play left field. Where Pajes is a little bit more versatile. He can play center and right. And right now we have Jay Hay out. So it's not like we're sliding him over to left. We're putting him in the spot that has a gap.
And here's one more thing to piss off Dodger fans. Have you guys seen what Michael Busch is doing in Chicago? Michael Busch has hit a home run in 5 straight games. Now, look, I know the Dodgers had to move on from Michael Busch because they weren't going to give Michael Busch playing time. And look, I'm happy for him that he has the success that he has in Chicago so far. But I thought there was a period, and maybe I'm wrong, that he was playing second base down in Oklahoma City. And I know I've had many a Dodger fan watching Michael Busch say to me, Juan, you mean to tell me that Michael Busch couldn't play second base for the Dodgers? Look, the Dodgers believe in Gavin Lux. They're gonna ride this out and say, I know it's rough right now, but the Dodgers are committed to it. Look, they may surprise me. I did not expect them. I thought Andy Pacas was going to be up this season. I just did not think he was going to be up in April. I did say
That's baseball.
and I did say if Andy Pacas was up, it's because something horribly has gone wrong. Well, something has horribly gone wrong. Jason Hayward got hurt, and we got guys that are not producing. And yeah, they got to win games. They got to find ways to win games.
I mean, but it's not like this team is any stranger from platooning or swapping players around. So it's the guys that they are moving around, they are versatile. Rojas is great at shortstop. He can also play third. So can Kike. Chris Taylor can play all over the field. It looks like Pajes can play in both of those spots. You can slide him over. Same thing with Teoscar. So none of this stuff is shocking. They're just trying to see what fits and see what works and shake up the lineup. So I don't know. I'm not worried, but everybody's entitled to how they feel.
Like I'm not worried either because I know how this movie ends. The Dodgers do this every year. They in the summer they go on this ridiculous tear and then they end up winning the division. So I'm not worried at all. I am just surprised at some of these moves, and if the Dodgers don't want to admit that there is a platoon going on with Gavin Lux and some other guys, look, there's a platoon going on. Gavin Lux is only
It's not like
playing.
they're lying to anybody. It makes it sound like it's some state secret. It's like it's just, they move people around. Like this is what it is. I don't know. I feel like if people, not you, just in general, but like if you want to make yourself miserable in this game, you can absolutely find reasons all over the place to do that. If you want to enjoy the game for what it is and the beauty that is baseball, then you're going to find ways to enjoy it. And if I feel like some people will project all the way into the postseason when we're in April right now. Do we want to get that longevity of out of everybody, pitchers, lineup, everything? Sure. But at the same time, like we're in April, are you guys not enjoying the moment we're in right now? Or are we really just going to fast forward to October at this moment? Or do you want to just enjoy the game as it's happening? That's a choice for everybody.
Yeah, and some people, their idea of enjoyment is winning. And like I said, right now the Dodgers are going through a little. I mean, it's rough. It's they don't look sharp, but it's rough. Now I want to end the show with this. I know you were at Jackie Robinson night at Dodger Stadium, Amy. Your thoughts on how the night went? I know the Dodgers did a few things to honor Jackie Robinson on Monday.
So yeah, there was a lot going on. We were in the pavilion, like at the top of the pavilion. So loudspeakers, it was kind of hard to see some of the monitors, but they had people out there. I know earlier in the day they had people come speak. So the Dodgers and the Nationals were surrounding the Jackie Robinson statue. The first X amount of people who came in all got, Brooklyn hats with the number 42 on the side as part of the giveaway. So it was just there was an air of like, I don't know, like you've got to kind of honor the night, right? You see all the players wearing 42, especially as Todd Lights is announcing everybody. And it's like, well, number 42, Will Smith, number 42, Mookie Betts. And so amongst that, then you also have some of the videos that they were playing. And I didn't get to see all of it because, again, it was really loud. But I think you sent me kind of a breakdown of it after the fact from social media. And, it was all just very moving.
Yeah, one of the things that they did was they played a video saying, I don't know if it started. Was it "Dear Rachel" or was it
Mhm.
"Thank you, Rachel"?
I think it was Dear Rachel, like a letter.
Um, they were thanking Jackie Robinson's wife, Rachel Robinson, and I thought that was really really neat because I do think you kind of lose sight of the fact that she was a part of this too. Yeah, maybe she wasn't on the field with him,
This is
but
why you're my podcast partner. I love that you get it.
like he came home to her and she was privy to seeing him go through. She probably saw sides of him while he was going through this that nobody else saw. And that had to be taxing and stressful for her. So I thought it was great that the Dodgers took the time to acknowledge. And I believe, I don't know, I might be wrong. Is she close to 100 or maybe she's
She'll be
over?
turning 102 this year.
Yeah. So all props to her. I thought it was great that they were able to honor her. I think what I'm hearing is that the Dodgers have really stepped up their giveaway game. I heard a lot of compliments about the Jackie Robinson hat that they gave out.
It was
Did you
very
get one?
nice. Oh yeah. We all got one. All my gals were there and yeah, we each got one. It was great. It's a great hat.
And then you had mentioned how both the Dodgers and the Nationals players gathered by the Jackie Robinson statue before the game, and that has become a little bit of a tradition now with whatever visiting team is playing the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium on Jackie Robinson night. I applaud Major League Baseball for making sure that the Dodgers are always home during
Mhm.
Jackie Robinson night, so the Dodgers can celebrate Jackie Robinson night at home. And then
There's
one of the
also to be said too, though, back to one of your previous points. It wasn't just that he came home to Rachel and he heard that. She went through all of that stuff too. Like she wasn't just a innocent bystander. And I think you were kind of making that point. Like she went through all of this herself. She had her own experiences, maybe not on the field like he did, but she was right there with him. So it wasn't just that she was a silent observer. She was a participant in all of this. And I think sometimes that gets lost that this also impacted her. She had to make choices and not only supporting him but what she was going through.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like this whole Jackie Robinson night, even though we see less and less African Americans playing baseball, I do still think it's very important that this night is celebrated because there are a lot of Afro Latinos who play Major League Baseball, and what Jackie Robinson did impacted directly Afro Latinos, and so when there is this belief out there that the way Major League Baseball has honored Jackie Robinson, they should do the same for Roberto Clemente. Look, I applaud those efforts because the Afro Latino went through a lot, and so what it
Any person of color, like he opened the door for anybody to play in this game who was not Caucasian, and that was not only not an easy door to walk through, but that opened it up for I mean, we've even got, as we're celebrating this year, a lot of the Asian culture, Japanese players that came in. Like he opened the door for everybody besides Caucasians. That's a big deal.
No, absolutely. And the other thing that I like about what they do when they all meet at the Jackie Robinson statue, excuse me, at the stadium, is they had a speaker there, Harry Edwards, addressed the team. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Harry Edwards, if you guys remember, there's a great moment in the Olympics, the 1968 Olympics, when two U.S. Black African Americans, excuse me, when they won the gold medal and they stood out there and they raised their fists in power. It was Harry Edwards who prompted them to make that gesture, and he's the guy who spoke to the team. And I like, for me, Major League Baseball and just the sport in baseball in general, I think, is a very conservative sport. So whenever you interject moments like this where you're having conversations about social inequality, it may seem forced, but I'm always fascinated when I see the reaction of players when they hear from people who had to deal with this discrimination, that had to deal with racial inequality. So I applaud the Dodgers. And then, do you know, I'm forgetting her first name, but she's the head of the Dodgers Foundation. Her last name's Whiteman. I'm
Nicole.
totally Nicole Whiteman. Uh, I want to just point out that part of this is also the Jackie Robinson Foundation that is being celebrated, and they hand out scholarships. And Nicole Whiteman received one of those scholarships, and that's how she was able to go to college. And now she's
It
running the Dodgers Foundation.
came full
Yeah,
circle.
I think that was all. It was all great, and I'm glad that we had an opportunity. I'm glad that you were there because I feel like it's important. I'm glad that serves as a reminder because we have to keep talking about it. I mean, we were so lucky in the sense we had Vince Scully, who was there. And a lot of the stories that we hear, Vince Scully was there for them, and we don't have Vince Scully anymore. So the only way we're going to be able to keep these stories alive is if people keep talking about them. So,
Well, and it's important for me to go every year, even just I'm not a player, but I am a person of color. I am, so to me, it's still just a reminder of this is why we all get to be in this stadium. Like this is something that we should celebrate. So if I can make it to that game, it's always important for me just to be able to celebrate that privilege, that right, whatever you want to call it, that we all get to exist here.
and because I'm trying to follow in your footsteps and be a more positive person, I'm going to try to give a Care Bear stare every episode. I want to not only give Rachel Robinson and everybody associated with the Jackie Robinson Foundation, but Jackie Robinson himself, but also the Dodgers for putting on this event for Major League Baseball. So everyone involved with Jackie Robinson night, you get a Taco Care Bear stare from me. Amy, do you want to throw in your baseball
Yeah.
diamonds Care Bear
Heck
stare as well?
yeah. Throw in some sparkles.
All righty. So that's going to do it for this episode. Amy, do you have any last words?
Andy Pa has just made a great catch.
Wow, this has just turned into that. I think we just need to record anytime Andy Pages is playing because we're clearly giving him the Baseball Shangri-La boost. Like we are really helping Andy Pages. I can already feel it. Someone had said, just give him a number 44 already. Why are you wasting time giving him 84? Give him 44. Anyways, that's going to do it for this episode. Again, a reminder, guys, if you're listening to us on the podcast, make sure you're subscribed to the podcast, rate us, write us a review, share the podcast with others, help spread the word. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. Hit that notification button, give us the thumbs up, leave us comments, let us know what you thought of the episode, and make sure you follow us on social media, on X at BB Shangri-La, on Instagram, Threads, and Twitch at Baseball Shangri-La. She is Amy Cuevas. I am Juan Ramirez. You have been listening or watching Baseball Shangri-La. Nos despedimos con un beso. Amy, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye, people.